Welcome to the NIET session using standardized video observations to establish inter-rater reliability, leveraging the Teacher Incentive Allotment Portal. My name is Stephanie Mosqueda, and I'm the Director of Learning Technology Services with NIET, and I'll be facilitating our time together today. During this session, we will cover the resources available in the TIA portal, how to access and navigate the system, as well as discuss some ways that videos may be used to strengthen inter-rater reliability among appraisers in districts and schools. For background information, NIET is a nonprofit whose mission is building educator excellence to give all students the opportunity for success. NIET is committed to raising achievement levels for all students by focusing on the most powerful lever for change, teachers, and the leadership that supports them. The TIA portal is housed in the EE-Pass platform, which is a web-based tool designed to provide training and resources to support and improve instruction. Now I'll share some additional information about the TIA portal. As previously mentioned, NIET serves as the licensing and hosting agent for the TIA portal. The portal contains 25 full-length videos, approximately 40 to 60-minute classroom lessons from multiple subjects and grade levels. All 25 full-length videos have accompanying T-test evidence and ratings documents. These 25 lessons are scored with the T-test rubric using a national rating process. 50 video clips, approximately 5 to 7 minutes, that isolate particular dimensions on the T-test rubric are also available. The platform is continuously monitored and maintained for 24/7 access to individual educators. Now we will spend a little bit of time explaining the basics about the portal and how to navigate and access the TIA portal as a resource that will become available July 1st, 2020. We will first watch a short module on how to access the portal.
Welcome to the Educator Effectiveness Preparation and Support System, or EE-Pass, for the Teacher Incentive Allotment Portal. The TIA portal is a repository of resources that support building a teacher's capacity to execute best practices that will grow teachers and their students toward excellence. Additionally, these video resources will support Texas districts as they work to build inter-rater reliability among appraisers and across schools in order to create and maintain a strongly calibrated teacher observation system. To ensure your system is ready for the portal, it is advised to follow the steps listed before accessing the EE-Pass TIA portal at www.eepass.org. Check that your web browser and Adobe Flash Player are the most up-to-date versions. Ensure your pop-ups are not blocked, and ensure your internet speed is at a good speed. 20 Mbps download and 5 Mbps upload speed is considered good. Once you have been added to the portal, you will receive a welcome email from support@niet.org from Paulette Rowell, as well as an automated email from the EE-Pass TIA site, or support@niet.org, that contains your user login information. Please know that you have 72 hours from when the invite email hits your inbox to accept the invitation and set your password. If you try to do this later than that, the link will have expired. At that point, the only way to set your password is to reach out to support@niet.org or by using the Contact Us tab on the homepage of the portal. Go to the following website to access the TIA portal: www.eepass.org. Click on Login to be able to input your username and password. A pop-up box will then appear to enter your username and password. Enter your username and password that were provided to you, then click Login. EE-Pass Terms and Conditions of Use Agreement must be read and agreed to. The screen will look similar to this. Scroll down using the bar on the right and check the I agree to the terms and conditions box to proceed to the site. Once logged in, click on the menu bar at the top left-hand corner of the screen. Please note, your menu options may look different depending on your district's authorizations and your assigned role within the system. From the menu screen, you want to select the Content Library option. The blue bar you see means EE-Pass is loading, and you should not try to exit out of the screen. The Content Library page should look something like this. The Year 1 Content Library contains 25 lesson videos and 50 video clips aligned to the T-Test Appraiser instrument with the idea that in Year 2, more lesson videos and video clips will be added. The TAA portal is housed inside the EE-Pass platform, and you will find all of your videos and video clips under the Videos tab of the menu. You may also use the search bar to find specific content. Each resource has an icon embedded on the upper right of the description section /box. The icon will indicate if the resource is a PDF, Word document, PowerPoint, or training module. If the resource has other content associated with it, associated content will be displayed in blue in that same description section /box. The NIET National Conference tab contains categorized and searchable presentations, video clips, and associated materials from the NIET National Conference training sessions. Although the main focus of this portal is to provide districts with the video resources, we have made one conference training session available that provides additional ideas and resources to support appraiser conferencing or calibration activities. The PowerPoint associated with that training session will appear along with the associated content in blue. The video can be expanded to full screen and can also be downloaded to your computer or laptop. The conference session handouts are also available for download. The content will open up as a PDF or a Word document. Once you have completed that search and want to explore a different resource, be sure to click on the Clear option at the top of the screen and go back to the Content Filter menu. The document library is filtered by Cluster/PLC, Evaluation Resources, Handbooks and Guides, and Leadership. This helpful guide can be found under How-To Tutorials. This guide is also available as a PDF and a pre-recorded video tutorial. Training modules are interactive and user-directed training experiences. Similar to the National Conference resources, there are 4 training modules available under the Instruction tab as an additional resource in the content library for Texas districts. The videos are grouped by video library and video clips. Video clips are filtered by elementary school, middle school, and high school. Video library is filtered by elementary, middle, and high school. You will find that there are no videos available under the Cluster or Leadership tabs. If technical support is needed while you are accessing the EE-Pass portal, please click on the Contact Us option in green on the right side of the screen. Enter your name, select a question from the drop-down, explain your issue, and enter your username, your organization, and your EE-Pass ID if you know it. Click Submit and your request will be delivered to our inbox. Responses are provided during normal business hours. We are excited that you are a part of our portal family and look forward to supporting you in the future. Should you have any questions related to the technology or content within EE-Pass, please feel free to contact our support team at support@niet.org or call us at 800-575-NIET. Our support team responds to user requests Monday through Friday, 8:30 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Holidays are exceptions.
In addition to the web-based portal we just reviewed, you may also visit the App Store and download the iPad Companion app to have the content library resources available on the go. Now that you have some information on what the TIA portal is and how to access the resources, I would like to move on to the second part of this session and discuss inter-rater reliability, why it's important, and how videos may be used to strengthen inter-rater reliability in districts and schools. IRR and why it is important. Inter-rater reliability refers to the statistical measurements that determine how similar the data collected by different raters are. It is important for raters to have as close to the same observations as possible. This ensures validity. This is also important to eliminate the idea that observation of classroom instruction is subjective. If raters significantly differ in their observations, then either measurements or methodology are not correct and should be refined. This will indicate if raters have either been trained in different ways or a significant amount of time has passed since their training that led to rater drift. As a reminder, TIA requires full readiness on the TIA system review rubric regarding your valid and reliable observation system. Calibration, inter-rater reliability, and a common language for instruction are all precursors to monitoring and minimizing score inflation. All of the above create the environment for congruence between teacher and student performance. Next, we will review some strategies for increasing the accuracy of observations. These three areas are critical when considering strategies for building capacity of appraisers in schools and across your district. Step one is to ensure that you are consciously and strategically building appraisers' capacity. This can be done by promoting intensive training, doing deep dives into the rubric and to observation and feedback practices. It can also be conducting certification and recertification assessments at the local district level. Provide resources and useful tools such as the TIA portal, and offer opportunities for reinforcement. Next, you'll want to create a conducive condition for a strong, valid, and reliable teacher observation system. This can look like ensuring that there are manageable caseloads and promoting a positive culture and mind shift when it comes to teacher observation in your schools and districts. Last, you'll want to monitor and ensure quality. This will include analyzing data from observations, audit evidence collected by observers, that includes post-conference plans, and conduct reliability audits. As a reminder, the T-TEST Appraiser Handbook also outlines some recommended practices for districts to follow in order to implement a strong teacher observation system. Those recommended best practices are multiple observations, including both formal and informal, ensuring that the observation is a lesson length. That includes a beginning, middle, and end of a lesson. It is encouraged to have at least one announced and one unannounced observation, as well as an in-person post-conference that should take place within 48 hours of the lesson observed. Lastly, ensuring that pre-conferences take place for all announced observations will also set the tone for creating a positive school-wide culture, as well as strengthening your teacher observation system. Once areas of need have been identified, and districts and schools may then be very strategic when planning how they might address those needs. Next, we will review how videos on the TIA portal may be used to strengthen the teacher observation system. The TIA portal videos may be used for a variety of purposes. Some of those include viewing and rating full-length lessons and comparing the evidence to the T-TEST National Raters Evidence and Ratings documents. Additionally, analyzing student responses is another approach for a way to use videos on the TIA portal. Identifying next steps for coaching and support for teachers, as well as ensuring aligned feedback provided on walkthrough observations for consistency across appraisers. They may also be used as viewing lessons from a content-specific lens, focusing on content-specific strategies, as well as a pedagogy-specific lens. And that would include focusing on specific dimensions on the t-test rubric. Additionally, reviewing lessons to identify next steps for professional development or PLC topics, and even exemplars for instruction, to name a few. So how might this look? The video portal can be used for examples of proficiency and above as the team ensures they each understand the dimensions of the t-test rubric. During leadership meetings or professional development activities, teams may watch one of the video clips or full lesson from the portal and engage the team in identifying what made a specific dimension proficient or above. Questions to consider. What did the teacher specifically do in the lesson that led to student mastery? What student behaviors can be observed that tell the observer that this dimension is at least proficient? And how and where does that align on the t-test rubric? Moving into mid-fall to late fall, it's a good idea to begin practicing applying the knowledge of the dimensions of the t-test rubric to a video of a full lesson. Teams may log into the TIA portal and determine the grade and subject area they would like to observe first with the team. You can consider assigning the video to each team member to watch prior to your meeting, or you may take the time to view the video during the meeting itself. It is recommended that each member collect evidence, categorize their evidence, and then assign a rating individually first. Next, discuss the ratings, paying particular attention to the evidence and rationale as to why the rating was scored the way it was scored. Then, download the corresponding t-test evidence and ratings document under the associated content below the video description to compare. As a reminder, your target is to be within plus or minus 1 of those ratings, as well as plus or minus 1 within each other. Now we will take a moment to consider one of the ways videos may be used when teams want to focus on building appraisers' capacity around a pedagogy-specific lens. This includes concentrating on one dimension of the t-test rubric. Before we begin explaining how the video may be used in this context, let's briefly talk about the target for conducting evaluations. When we talk about learner outcomes, we are referring to the standards, and that may be pre-K guidelines, state standards, and even learning targets. As the evaluator in the classroom, I'm listening for learner outcomes or lesson objectives as the anchor for the appraisal. I'm asking myself, what are the outcomes? How are they being communicated to students? And what evidence is there to support that students understood those learning outcomes? These outcomes drive the entire evaluation. Next, I'm collecting evidence regarding the teacher behaviors and how they are aligned to the learner outcomes. I'm considering, what is the teacher saying and doing that aligns and supports the learning objectives? For example, how is the lesson structured to facilitate student mastery toward the learner outcomes? How do questions and activities align with the learner outcomes? I'm also collecting evidence regarding what the students say and do during the lesson, using that same learner outcome as a filter for how students are behaving and responding to instruction. There is a direct cause and effect relationship between what the teacher says and does and what the students say and do. Again, all linked to the learner outcome. Ultimately, I'm collecting evidence to support whether or not students are meeting the learner outcomes. As the appraiser, this means that I'm in queue with other aspects of the lesson, including where the class is within the unit of study. Are they at the beginning of the unit, the middle of the unit, or toward the end of the unit? All of this evidence is captured at the beginning, middle, and end of a lesson. Thus, observing the entire lesson, as mentioned previously, is key. As district and school teams prepare for calibration exercises, let's take a look at one example of how this might look in practice. Identify the clip or clips to use with the appraisers. In this case today, we'll use a short 6th grade science clip. Assign the appraisers scripting roles while they watch the clip. You may assign half of the appraisers to capture what the teacher says and does and any visuals used. The other half of the appraisers will capture what the students say and do. As a reminder, this may also be completed in small teams where there is only a principal and assistant principal. If it is the case where there's only one building principal, perhaps districts would want to conduct these activities with individual principals. Next, you'll inform the group that the information collected will be used in an upcoming activity. That way, they ensure that what they're capturing when they watch the video clip is very comprehensive as it relates to their assigned task. Next, you will watch the video clip. Let's take a moment and watch this brief 6th grade science clip for the purposes of this activity.
So we're going to read this all together. This is also written at the top of the paper on your desk. If you want to go ahead and grab those out from under the tray. Beautiful, beautiful. And we're going to start with proficient. We're going to read that together, okay? You guys ready? In 3, 2, 1. I can identify an accurate diagram of a simple circuit. I can describe the role of conductors in a circuit. All right, I'm going to let that soak in for about 10 seconds. Okay, now let's do the same with exemplary. I can identify, draw, and label an accurate diagram of a simple circuit. I can describe the role of conductors in a circuit and name 3 examples and 3 non-examples of conductors. Great job. Now, examples and non-examples. What's an example of a reptile? Will, can you give me one of those?
Snake.
A snake. Now, can anyone name a non-example of a reptile?
Jaguar.
A jaguar.
A horse.
A horse. Absolutely. So when I'm asking for non-examples, just things that are not conductors. Now, I want you to take a second, look at the one at the top of your paper, and help me come up with an I can statement. What would be a good one that would cover all this stuff? I can. What are we going to accomplish today? What are we going to learn about? Lauren?
I would say electricity.
Okay, electricity.
Electrical circuit.
Electrical circuits. Anything else, guys? Raleigh?
Identifying electrical circuits, like diagrams.
Okay. Very good.
Identifying an accurate diagram of a simple circuit.
Okay, you guys are being very specific. Let's back up a little bit. I like how you named electrical circuits. What's one other thing we're going to talk about? Michael? Conductors, yes sir. So, I can, at the end of the day, how about demonstrate my understanding of, right? That's something that we talk about a lot. Can you show me that you understand? So at the end of the day, I'll know that you're successful if you can demonstrate how much you understand conductors and electrical circuits. Now we're about to move on, but before we do, I just want you to set a goal for yourself. Exemplary or proficient? Where do you want to be at the end of the day? Go ahead and write that down or circle it on your paper.
Following viewing the video clip, each group would be assigned to the Achieving Expectations dimension. Allow them 5 to 8 minutes to chart or write out their evidence specific to their assigned role. And they may chart or write that on their evidence on something that looks similar to this. Notice how the student evidence for achieving expectations would be on one side, and then the teacher evidence for achieving expectations would be on the other. Once the evidence is charted or written out, compare and discuss the evidence captured with the teacher lens versus the student lens. How might the evidence look different if only one lens of the evidence was collected during a lesson? Review the descriptors for achieving expectations on the T-test rubric to identify which evidence aligns to the rubric dimensions. Consider the following. How might the evidence collected relate to the descriptors on the T-test rubric? What is different about viewing the teacher behaviors versus the student behaviors? And how might that evidence impact how you might consider rating this dimension? How might student engagement in the lesson impact the ratings of the dimension based on the evidence collected? Completing activities like these as appraisers in a district and/or school building can allow appraisers to build capacity and calibrate by developing a common understanding of evidence collection and where and how the evidence aligns to the T-test rubric. Identifying the importance of collecting what the students say and do and how that information allows appraisers to identify which performance level a teacher's lesson would align to. Beginning the conversation for identifying where additional support and training may be needed in order to create the environment for a fully calibrated teacher observation system. These could include things as evidence collection, developing a deeper understanding of the dimensions, understanding how evidence for the dimensions might look differently across grade levels, subjects taught, and/or special programs. And lastly, identifying possible next steps for PLC or staff development to continue to create that common language for instruction across buildings or classrooms. As we reflect on the calibration activity that we just talked through, take a moment to read the following two quotes by Rick DeFore. A snapshot of learning. How is a snapshot of learning different from a snapshot of teaching? Some things that may come to mind when reflecting on these quotes might be focusing on student strengths of the overall culture and process of observation builds up the objectivity of the observation process for both appraisers and teachers. When this is strong in a building, then teachers begin to actually look at their lessons differently, as well as the observation process differently. Reflecting on these types of activities as appraisers will also strengthen the buy-in as to why having a fully calibrated, valid, and reliable system is important to changing instruction. Now let's take a moment to consider what some possible next steps might look like. Think about how you might want this process for building inter-rater reliability to look in your own context. In the coming months, more information about how to access the TIA portal will be shared with districts. As a reminder, the TIA portal will be available beginning July 1st. Once you receive access, then districts and schools may begin to determine what the district and/or campus needs are for creating a fully calibrated teacher observation system. Once the needs are identified, then districts and school administrators may begin to create an action plan for how they will start to use the resources available in the TIA portal to address their identified needs. Thank you for your participation in this session. As a reminder, you may reach out via email to either support@niet.org or TIA@NIET.org. Now we will move to the Q&A portion of this session.